Hi everybody, Colin Tansley, the Risk Watchdogs live broadcast with my good friend Peter Taylor.
Good morning everybody, and good morning Colin.
We're doing our weekly update again. I've got the date right, I'm 4th of August, soon be Christmas. So let's have a look what we got. So again, raise awareness of fraud, scams and cyber issues. We sort of tend to keep an eye out for them during the course of the forthcoming week, and it's really about helping keep you safe, raise your awareness, and obviously if you've got a business, keeping that safe as well. I know Peter, you've got you want to talk about is it ghost brokers and payment fraud today?
Yeah, on my weekly fraud scam watch, I tend to cover something that's arisen during the previous week, and I've seen more and more again on ghost broking, which is basically where you buy an insurance policy for your car, ideally for you at a cheap rate.
Yeah.
But it turns out that you haven't actually got a proper policy in place, and that lies have been told to an insurance company so that they issue a policy. So how that works is, particularly for young drivers, you go onto an aggregator site or you contact an insurer, or you get a quote. You get a quote for maybe say £2,000. You then see on Facebook, has been quite common, or other social media sites, an advert from somebody saying, "Yeah, young driver, we can get you cheap insurance." You make contact with them. They ask you what your quote is. They take details from you.
Yeah.
What they then do is they will actually change your details, so there's a bit of synthetic identity going on here. So how insurance is calculated in very, very simple terms, it's based on the risk of the car and yourself. So they might change some of the specifications for the car, but keep the registration number the same. But if say, for example, they lower the specification of your car, that will make your insurance cheaper.
Yeah.
And then it's about you. So what's your previous history? What's your age? So again, if you are a 24-year-old driver and they change your age to 44, your insurance premium will usually be cheaper. And then other details like where you live. So they might move you to a more low risk area.
Yeah.
That's near to where you live, and then they may change details, like say that you keep the car garaged overnight, but you might live on the 41st floor of a block of flats with no garages. But by doing that, they will then initially get you a insurance cover that looks genuine, and you pay them, they pay the insurance company, they make a profit, but then things start to go wrong in that what they will do is, first of all, from your point of view, you will get what looks like a real insurance certificate, but it's just an edited PDF because they've done all the liaison with the insurer or the aggregator or the broker. They will then cancel the payment and take the money. So you're then left without insurance. And they've made the money. The insurance company have made nothing, but they appear to have taken on your risk. The problem being that if things go wrong and you do have an accident or you have your car stolen, then the chances of you getting cover from the insurance company is pretty negligible. You're not going to have cover, so you're going to be out of pocket. The villains have taken your money, but this system can be replicated in lots of other areas as well. So it might not just be an insurance policy; it might be counterfeit goods, it might be services, and we've even got people doing things like passport applications and driving license applications on behalf of people as a service, but they're not actually doing it properly. The main one I'd warn you about is that what you're also doing is you're providing your name, your date of birth, your address, your occupation, and you may also be paying by credit card or debit card. So you're providing bank card details and you're providing your CVV code. So there's just so many ways that this could be exploited. There was real case investigated by insurers, the Insurance Fraud Enforcement Department, and it was two guys who ran a laundrette, and they'd started by issuing bogus certificates or getting bogus certificates for an Albanian drug gang. They were making so much money from that they then extended it to the public. They got caught, and they'd taken about £370,000 off the public. So that's quite good earnings for them. Both of them actually went to prison, and the case was quite well publicised, and a lot was learned from it as well. But what I'm saying really is, repeating again, if it looks too good to be true, it probably is, and to be cautious about what you're buying and who you're buying it from. So wherever possible, buy from a known reputable source, somebody you've previously dealt with, or somebody that's got a really verifiable background. A Facebook page and even a website is no guarantee of safety, even if it's got a little padlock on.
As we know, we spoke before about, it's dead easy to copy details off reputable sort of brokers and other businesses and just stand it up, isn't it? And with a slight change in the domain name potentially. That's really good. Is there any evidence of any complicity in the person applying for the insurance? So getting somebody else to approach the broker, say just quite happy with what they're doing, but and splitting the proceeds, maybe, I don't know.
I've not actually seen that emerge. Logically, like any occupation, there will be people that are questionable. And there are some sharp practices that go on with things like traders' policies, where traders, I've known cases where traders will actually put your car on their policy for a month and charge you for it. But the main source that I have seen seems to have been aggregators or direct insurers, or brokers that have been hoodwinked. Okay.
Super. All right, thank you very much for that. Really interesting. So from my side of things, just sort of building on the cyber bites from earlier in the week. So another study about sort of malicious software and the amount of stuff that comes through. So about 75% of malicious software is now being delivered, or continues to be delivered, by email, with about 25% from web downloads. So it just screams at me that if we can get the email bit right, then we're going to see a reduction in sort of phishing. So, and again, I know we've hammered it time and time again, but this is about education, identification of suspicious looking emails, and get people to sort of slow down and take a few minutes to have a look at it. And anything suspicious, like the form of words, invoices, request for payment, urgency, the types of words, important, confidential, that sort of stuff that are in there.
Yeah, one thing that people seem to forget to mention with this, Colin, as well, it's also about the settings you've got on your email. What have you got your privacy settings set at? Have you got AV or antivirus on? Have you got malware protection? And also things like, does your email system allow you to encrypt?
Yeah, exactly. And
it's
Mike Roberts, isn't it? As we know, offers a very good system. But and teaching your spam filters as well. I use it. It does a very good job, I've got to say. But you've got to be so on the ball with this. And the next one was about under 40s being targets, which doesn't surprise me really, for hackers, because I suppose there's a number of factors here that they use all sorts of platforms, social media, etc. And the sense is that these are the people that hackers are going after. And the advice I gave on cyber bites, if you're in that demographic, don't recycle your passwords and make sure you're using 2FA as a minimum.
Yeah,
it comes down to education again and being aware.
The click and look generation as well. Click first.
And
then worry about it after. Yeah,
absolutely. And then IBM have just released their, we use this a lot actually, the IBM report about cost per data breach, talking about $4.2 million per incident. Now, That's massive. I suppose that a lot of their resource will be going into looking at bigger companies, but and I know it's not just the technical stuff, it's also about the reputational side of things and the damage it does to business, the downtime, equipment replacement. And for a small business, the cost might be lower, but the damage is still going to be there.
Yeah.
But then I've also seen this morning, I was looking at something that the UK ICO is seeing a reduction in the amount of reported data breaches. So I suppose that is good news, but yeah, I suppose we're moving in the right direction. But they're saying, healthcare are being hit massively still. Anybody in the financial sector. So those targets don't really change.
Yeah. I think as part of it, I wonder whether just my instinctive feeling is that we've actually got they've actually got better at it. And one of the things they've done is, if you're really good at your job, then the price goes up.
Yeah.
And I keep repeating this, but when I was first seeing ransomware, people were really scared about the fact that the ransoms were had increased to $40,000.
Yeah.
And we're now seeing £40 million ransoms and £75 million ransoms.
Yeah.
And as we've seen with the KSA, or however you pronounce it, I think they're getting paid.
They are. And
Yeah.
just the advice not to do it.
Yeah. So you can't be keeping them out.
No. I still maintain that if we can get the education side of it right, obviously there's technical stuff that's got to go on, but what we see time and time again is human error. But I don't know. There's a whole load of opinion on that, which we haven't got time for today. But super. Okie dokie. So just to emphasize that we can help you with cyber risk assessments, fraud risk assessments. We've got a host of AML assessments. For those of you in that sector, the regulated sector, I'm doing a couple of demos next week. Get in touch if you want the link to the invite. We're always on hand to deliver training. We're doing more and more of this type of training as well. And obviously the consultancy piece. So feel free to get in touch with either of us, or just contact us through the Intellect Group webpage, the link for which is at the bottom of the slide there. Right, Peter, thank you very much again, sir.
Thank you, Colin.
And as you always say, stay safe out there.
So let's be careful.
Indeed. All right, thank you very much. Cheers, Peter.